If your legs feel heavy, slow, or unreliable before anything else, that is not just getting older. It's a signal, a part of your body telling you the pipes and wiring that keep you standing are starting to fray. I'm Dr. Daniel, and for the last 2 decades I've worked with older adults who want to keep their independence. The good news is this: movement matters, but food matters too. What you eat can help restore circulation, calm inflammation, improve how your muscles use insulin, and even turn on the body's own muscle-building signals. Today, I'll walk you through 6 foods seniors can't afford to skip if you want legs that work for you. If this information matters to you or someone you care for, please hit subscribe so I can keep sharing practical, science-backed tips like these. Legs are special tissue. They contain some of the largest muscles in your body, and they do a lot of heavy lifting, literally. Because leg muscles are big and active, they act as metabolic engines. They use blood sugar, oxygen, and nutrients at a high rate. That's why leg strength shows up again and again in research as a marker of healthy aging. Stronger legs predict better mobility, fewer hospital stays, and more years of independent living. Saying it simply, leg strength is now recognized as a key biomarker of healthy aging. But here's the problem most people miss. Exercise alone is often not enough. If the circulation delivering oxygen is poor, if insulin signaling is blunted, if chronic inflammation is blocking repair, and if the muscle's natural protein signaling pathways are dulled, then even the best workouts give limited gains. We need the right metabolic environment for exercise to translate into stronger legs. That's where food comes in. There are multiple forces that chip away at leg strength as we age. First, circulation. Tiny blood vessels that feed leg muscles narrow or lose elasticity, and delivery of oxygen becomes less efficient. Second, insulin resistance. When muscles don't respond well to insulin, they can't pull glucose into cells effectively, which weakens energy supply during movement. Third, chronic low-level inflammation. When inflammation stays elevated, it impairs muscle repair after activity. Fourth, mineral shortfalls, magnesium and others, make muscles cramp and respond poorly. Fifth, anabolic resistance. Older muscles need stronger signals to rebuild after exercise, and that often requires enough quality protein and specific amino acids. Sixth, joint problems and vein issues, arthritis, varicose veins, neuropathy, can limit activity and create a downward spiral. A smart food plan can touch all of these mechanisms. I'm going to focus on 6 foods that, together, target those mechanisms in practical, everyday ways. I chose these not because they are magic, but because they are widely available, easy to add to meals, and supported by basic physiological reasoning and clinical studies. Leafy greens, berries, flax seeds, extra virgin olive oil, whole eggs, and fatty fish. Each one brings a particular set of tools to the table. Better circulation, improved insulin response, reduced inflammation, fiber and omega-3s, and the amino acids muscles need to rebuild. For each food, I'll explain briefly why it matters, what it does for your legs, and how to use it. Simple ideas you can do tomorrow. Let's start with leafy greens. Leafy greens are more than salad garnish. Spinach, kale, arugula, chard. These vegetables are concentrated sources of dietary nitrates. In the body, nitrates can be converted into nitric oxide, a small molecule that widens blood vessels and helps deliver oxygen and nutrients more efficiently to muscles. Better blood flow means your leg muscles get more fuel and heal faster after effort. Practically, studies have shown that dietary nitrates can improve exercise tolerance and the speed at which muscles recover. Simple, repeatable benefits that matter for day-to-day tasks like climbing stairs or rising from a chair. How much? Aim for about 1 to 2 cups of raw leafy greens a day, or the equivalent cooked. That can look like a cup of spinach folded into your morning eggs, a handful of arugula tossed on a sandwich, or a green side salad with lunch. If raw greens are tough on your appetite, blend them into a smoothie with berries and a little yogurt. Flavor and texture smooth the transition, and you still get the nitrate benefit. One quick caveat: leafy greens are rich in vitamin K, which can affect some blood-thinning medications. If you take warfarin or a similar drug, don't stop eating greens. Talk with your clinician so your medication can be managed around a consistent intake. For most seniors, however, the circulation benefits of regular greens are a low-cost, high-impact choice. Next, berries. Berries are compact nutritional powerhouses. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, these fruits are rich in anthocyanins and other polyphenols, plant chemicals that act as antioxidants and can help improve insulin sensitivity. For muscles, that matters because better insulin sensitivity helps cells take up glucose more readily, giving leg muscles the fuel they need for strength and endurance. Antioxidants also protect tiny blood vessels and muscle cells from oxidative stress, the slow damage that accumulates with age. A practical target is a half cup to 1 cup of berries per day. That's a small bowl on its own, a handful tossed into oatmeal, or a cup blended into a smoothie with a tablespoon of ground flax. If you're watching carbs for diabetes, berries are among the best fruit choices because they are relatively low in sugar and have fiber that blunts blood sugar spikes. For people on blood sugar-lowering medications, monitor your glucose as you add new fruit into your routine so doses can be adjusted appropriately by your clinician if needed. Let me tell you about a patient I saw, Mrs. Johnson, in her late 60s, who told me she felt wobbly on stairs and avoided walks that once felt easy. We added a small bowl of mixed berries to her breakfast and a daily 20-minute walk. Within 6 weeks, she reported steadier steps and less muscle soreness after walking. That's a simple example, and results vary, but it highlights how small food shifts can support movement. Now, flax seeds. Flax seeds are a twin tool, fiber for blood sugar control and alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 for anti-inflammatory effect. Ground flax is digestible. Whole seeds often pass through undigested. The fiber helps slow glucose absorption and feeds beneficial gut bacteria, while ALA provides raw material the body can use to turn down inflammatory signals that interfere with muscle repair. For seniors, both effects support better muscle metabolism and smoother recovery between activity sessions. A conservative and useful serving is 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground flax per day. You can sprinkle it on yogurt, stir it into oatmeal, blend it into smoothies, or mix it into pancake batter. If you don't like the texture, start with 1 tablespoon and work up. If you take blood thinners, note that omega-3s can increase bleeding risk in some people. If you are on anticoagulants, check with your provider before making flax a daily habit. So far, we've talked about boosting circulation, improving insulin response, and dialing down inflammation. Next, I want to introduce a food that helps calm chronic inflammation in a different way: extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is a staple of Mediterranean-style eating for good reason. It supplies monounsaturated fats and plant compounds, small molecules like oleocanthal analogues that have measurable anti-inflammatory effects. These compounds act partly by interfering with inflammatory pathways that, when chronically active, slow muscle repair and contribute to joint pain. For older adults, even modest reductions in systemic inflammation can translate into better recovery after physical activity and less joint stiffness that limits movement. Aim for 1 to 2 tablespoons a day of extra virgin olive oil, used raw or gently warmed. Drizzle it on salads, stir it into cooked vegetables after they're off the heat, or use it to finish soups. Avoid repeatedly heating the oil to very high temperatures. The delicate phenolic compounds are best preserved when used without long, high-heat frying. Also, keep an eye on calories. Olive oil is calorie-dense, and if weight loss is the goal, The rest of the day's intake should reflect that. As with flax, olive oil can modestly affect clotting. If you take anticoagulants, mention it to your clinician. At this point, you might be asking, what about protein? Don't I need protein to build muscle? The answer is yes. This brings us to the fifth food I'll cover today: whole eggs. Whole eggs are an excellent source of high-quality protein with a generous dose of leucine, an amino acid that acts like a switch for muscle protein synthesis. In plain terms, leucine helps trigger the muscle's repair machinery after exercise. For older adults who often experience anabolic resistance, meaning their muscles need a stronger signal to rebuild, providing leucine-rich protein at key times, especially at breakfast, can improve the efficiency of muscle repair and growth. Eggs also bring vitamin D, choline, and other nutrients useful for older bodies. A practical approach is 2 whole eggs in the morning, prepared the way you prefer: scrambled, poached, or as an omelette with a generous handful of spinach or arugula. Combining eggs with leafy greens reinforces the circulation benefit while giving the protein signal at the start of the day. If cholesterol is a concern because of a medical condition, discuss egg intake with your clinician. For many people, 2 eggs several times a week are well tolerated, but individual recommendations vary. The 6th core food is fatty fish. Fatty fish, think salmon, mackerel, sardines, provide the long-chain omega-3s EPA and DHA. These forms have stronger anti-inflammatory effects than the plant-based omega-3s in flax. EPA and DHA can reduce joint inflammation, ease stiffness, and improve blood flow in small vessels. For older adults with aching knees or shoulders, or for those with metabolic conditions that benefit from better vascular function, fatty fish is a high-value choice. Aim for 2 to 3 servings per week of fatty fish. A serving is roughly 3 to 4 ounces of cooked fish. Choose smaller, lower mercury options like salmon or sardines when possible, and vary your intake. If you eat fish less often, a clinically appropriate fish oil supplement can be considered as a supplemental alternative, but always check with your provider before starting any supplement, especially if you take blood thinners. Let me pause for a moment to summarize why these 6 foods were chosen. Leafy greens target circulation via dietary nitrates and nitric oxide. Berries bring polyphenols that protect vessels and improve insulin response. Flax seeds add fiber and ALA to support blood sugar control and reduce inflammation. Extra virgin olive oil supplies phenolic compounds that quiet chronic inflammatory signaling. Whole eggs give leucine-rich protein that helps turn on muscle-building pathways. Fatty fish provides EPA and DHA to reduce joint inflammation and support vascular health. Together, they create a daily nutrient environment that helps muscles receive fuel, recover faster, and respond more strongly to exercise. That combination is exactly what older legs need to rebuild function. I know that sounds like a lot to juggle, so let's make it practical. Simple swaps and small habits are the real pathway to change. Here are a few ideas you can start tomorrow. Fold a cup of spinach into your scrambled eggs. Toss a half cup of berries into plain yogurt or oatmeal. Stir a tablespoon of ground flax into your morning smoothie. Use a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to dress your lunch salad. Aim for 2 whole eggs at breakfast a few times a week, and plan for a fatty fish. Dinner twice in a week. Those moves are small, they're repeatable, and they map directly to the problems we talked about. A quick, real-world example: a breakfast of 2-egg omelette with a cup of spinach, a mid-morning snack of plain yogurt topped with a half cup of mixed berries and 1 tablespoon of ground flax, a lunch salad drizzled with a tablespoon of olive oil, and a dinner of grilled salmon with steamed vegetables hits nearly all 6 priorities across a single day. If this seems like a lot at first, start with 1 or 2 swaps and build from there. Behavior change that sticks is gradual. Before we move on, a short and important safety note. These foods are generally safe and beneficial, but they can interact with medications or medical conditions. Leafy greens are high in vitamin K and can affect warfarin. Flax and fatty fish contain omega-3s that can increase bleeding risk in someone on anticoagulants. Olive oil and some compounds in berries or spices may have mild effects on blood thinning. If you take blood pressure medications, beet juice and very high nitrate strategies can amplify their effect. If you have complex health concerns, advanced kidney disease, severe heart disease or active cancer, check with your clinician before making major dietary shifts. The goal here is to add foods to support leg strength, not to replace prescribed medical therapies. So far I've walked through the problem and explained the first 4 of our 6 core foods in detail: leafy greens, berries, flax seeds, and extra virgin olive oil. We've talked about what each food does at the cellular level in plain terms, shown how that helps leg muscles, and offered practical serving suggestions you can begin using immediately. Coming up next, I will cover whole eggs and fatty fish in the same level of detail, then put it all together into a realistic day-by-day framework that fits into busy lives. I'll also share a few bonus alternatives and brief ideas, things from the broader list like beets, turmeric, pumpkin seeds, and Greek yogurt that can complement the 6 core foods without crowding your plate. I'll finish with clear safety reminders about medications and practical tips if you're on a tight budget or dealing with limited appetite. Before we go deeper, ask yourself, which one of the changes I mentioned feels easiest to try this week? Try one small swap, like adding a handful of spinach to your eggs or a small bowl of berries to breakfast, and notice how your energy and recovery respond over the next 2 weeks. Small shifts compound. When we return to the next section, I'll detail eggs and fish and then build a simple eating plan that blends all 6 foods without fuss. I'll give quick recipes you can repeat, plus a few substitutes if you don't like a particular item. And we'll close with a concise safety checklist you can share with your clinician. If this is already sounding useful, leave a comment and tell me which food you'll try first. I'm curious to see what people pick. If you found this helpful so far, please give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Your engagement helps me keep creating practical, evidence-based guidance for healthy aging. Now let's pick up with whole eggs and fatty fish. Whole eggs deserve a bit more attention because they are such an efficient way to get the muscle-building signal your legs need. As I said, eggs are rich in leucine, the amino acid that acts like a push button for protein synthesis. For older adults, timing matters. Having a solid protein-rich breakfast signals the body early in the day to build and repair. That improves how your muscles respond to exercise later, even light resistance work or walking. A 2-egg breakfast also helps preserve appetite through the morning, making it easier to eat balanced meals at lunch and dinner. Think of eggs as a practical tool rather than a strict rule. If you don't like eggs, a protein-rich alternative with a good dose of leucine, like Greek yogurt, can be substituted. But eggs are convenient, widely available, and affordable. Cook them in a way you enjoy and pair them with leafy greens for a 1-2 punch. Fatty fish, finally, anchors the anti-inflammatory and circulatory support that complements the plant-based strategies. EPA and DHA from oily fish are directly anti-inflammatory in ways that help reduce joint pain and improve endothelial function, the lining of blood vessels. That means slightly better blood flow to muscle and often less stiffness after activity. For people with mild arthritis, adding fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week can reduce reliance on pain medications for some when combined with exercise and other lifestyle steps. But again, do not stop any prescribed medication without discussing it with your provider. If you're averse to fish, canned sardines or smoked salmon are good low-prep options. If you're worried about mercury, favor salmon, sardines, and smaller fish over large predators. If you cannot tolerate fish at all, an omega-3 supplement is an option under medical supervision. At this stage, you should have a sense of how each food fits into the bigger picture: circulation, insulin, inflammation, and protein signaling. When combined with regular movement, even short daily walks, and simple sit-to-stand exercises, these dietary shifts create a metabolic environment that allows those activities to translate into real strength gains over weeks and months. We're about to move into a compact daily template that shows how to blend these 6 foods across meals with minimal fuss. Breakfast that primes anabolic signaling, snacks that stabilize blood sugar, lunches that support circulation, and dinners that provide restorative omega-3s. I'll also include a few bonus items, like beets for extra nitrates, turmeric for targeted anti-inflammatory help, pumpkin seeds for magnesium, and Greek yogurt as an alternate protein source, so you have options if you don't like one of the core 6. Before I map out the day, a short note on portions and appetite. Many older adults struggle with appetite or chewing difficulties. If you find large meals intimidating, spread these foods across smaller plates and snacks. A tablespoon of ground flax in a yogurt cup, a half cup of berries tucked into cottage cheese, a soft poached egg with steamed spinach. These all fit into a gentle pattern that accumulates nutrients without overwhelming the appetite. Now let's build that simple, realistic day of eating around the 6 foods, keeping preparation time low and flavor enjoyable. Start your day with intention. Here's a straightforward, flavor-friendly day of eating that threads the 6 foods through every meal so that you're feeding circulation, insulin sensitivity, inflammation control, and muscle repair across the clock, without turning your kitchen into a lab. Breakfast, the morning anabolic anchor. 2 whole eggs prepared how you like, folded over a generous cup of sautéed spinach or stirred into an easy green omelette. If eggs are tough on the throat or palate, try a cup of plain Greek yogurt mixed with a half cup of berries and a tablespoon of ground flax instead. Either option gives you a protein-rich start with leucine from eggs or dairy, and the circulation boost from leafy greens. Drizzle 1/2 to 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil over cooked greens or yogurt for flavor, healthy fat, and that anti-inflammatory phenolic support. Simple recipe: spinach and egg scramble. Heat a teaspoon of olive oil in a non-stick pan over medium heat. Add a cup of washed spinach and wilt for 30 to 60 seconds. Whisk 2 eggs, pour over the greens, and gently scramble until set. Finish with a spoonful of chopped fresh herbs or a sprinkle of black pepper. Mid-morning snack: a small bowl of berries, about a half cup to 1 cup, topped with 1 tablespoon of ground flax. The berries give an antioxidant and insulin-friendly hit. The flax adds fiber and plant-based omega-3s that slow sugar absorption and calm inflammation between meals. Smoothie option: blend a half cup of mixed berries, 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk or milk of choice, 1 tablespoon ground flax, a small handful of raw spinach, and a few ice cubes. For more protein, add a scoop of plain protein powder or 1 to 2 cup Greek yogurt. Smoothies are especially useful if appetite is low or chewing is difficult. Lunch: build a circulation-forward plate. Start with a base of leafy greens, 1 to 2 cups of mixed salad greens, arugula, or baby spinach. Add a fatty fish option twice a week, 3 to 4 ounces of canned salmon, or a fillet of grilled mackerel, and dress it with 1 to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Toss in half a cup of berries for contrast if you like fruit in salads, or add a small serving of whole grains for energy. This meal balances nitrates, omega-3s, and anti-inflammatory fats in a single, satisfying plate. Quick assembly: sardine salad. Open a can of sardines in water or olive oil. Place 2 cups mixed salad greens in a bowl, top with sardines, a 1/4 cup sliced cucumber, and a tablespoon of chopped parsley. Drizzle with 1 tablespoon extra virgin olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Afternoon pick-me-up: If you get hungry before dinner, have a simple yogurt parfait. Plain yogurt with a half cup of berries and 1 tablespoon ground flax, or a whole grain cracker topped with mashed sardines and a drizzle of olive oil. Keeping small protein and fiber-focused snacks helps avoid large blood sugar swings that can sap energy in the afternoon. Dinner, prioritize fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week. Aim for 3 to 4 ounces cooked per serving. Grill, bake or pan-sear salmon with a light olive oil and herb finish. Serve alongside steamed vegetables, tossed with a splash of extra virgin olive oil and a leafy green salad. When fish isn't on the menu, use eggs twice weekly or a legume-based entree paired with a tablespoon of ground flax and a drizzle of olive oil to maintain nutrient balance. Simple fish idea, bake salmon with lemon and herbs. Place a 3 to 4 ounce salmon fillet on foil, season with salt, pepper and chopped dill or parsley. Top with a thin slice of lemon and a teaspoon of olive oil. Bake at 375 degrees Celsius for 12–15 minutes or until flaky. Evening or bedtime. If appetite is small at night, a light bowl of Greek yogurt with a few berries and a sprinkle of flax or a warm cup of herbal tea and a soft poached egg on a piece of whole grain toast can round out the day. The goal is modest and steady protein and healthy fats across the day, so anabolic signaling has repeated opportunities to work. Now let's zoom out from individual meals to practical planning and prep that keeps these choices realistic, especially if budget, time or appetite are concerns. Shopping and pantry tips for seniors and caregivers. Frozen berries and frozen spinach are shelf-stable, budget-friendly, and retain most nutrients. Buy frozen mixed berries and a bag of chopped spinach to avoid waste and speed prep. Canned fatty fish, sardines, pink salmon are affordable, rich in EPA, DHA, and require no cooking. Keep several cans in the pantry for easy salads and toast toppings. Buy flax seeds whole and grind them at home in a small coffee grinder, or purchase pre-ground in small packages to preserve freshness. Extra virgin olive oil is best bought in a dark bottle and used within a few months of opening for best flavor and phenolic content. A modest bottle serves a couple of people for weeks. Eggs are cost-efficient protein. Store a dozen in the main refrigerator area rather than the door to keep them at stable temperature. Keep a small jar of mixed herbs and lemon or vinegar on hand to make simple dressings that make salads enjoyable. Batch ideas to save kitchen time. Hard-boil a half-dozen eggs at the start of the week for quick breakfasts or snacks. Roast a large fillet of salmon or a tray of mackerel portions and portion into containers for 2 to 3 lunches or dinners. Make a large salad base of leafy greens and store in a sealed container. Add dressing just before eating to preserve texture. Prepare a double batch of berry flax smoothie packs. Combine berries, a small handful of spinach, and a tablespoon of ground flax in freezer bags. In the morning, dump a pack into the blender with liquid and protein. Texture and chewing adjustments. If chewing or swallowing is a problem, choose softer formats. Scrambled eggs, mashed avocado, bonus, flaked canned salmon mixed into yogurt, smoothies with ground flax, and steamed greens are easier than raw leaves. Use a blender to create smooth textures without losing nutrition. If taste buds have changed, a common complaint with age, experiment with bright flavors, lemon, vinegar, fresh herbs, a pinch of salt and pepper to make foods more appealing. Budget-friendly swaps and strategies. Frozen salmon or canned sardines are often cheaper than fresh fillets and provide comparable omega-3s. Seasonal berries or frozen fruit mixes can keep costs down. Buy flax seeds in bulk if you use them daily. They store well in the refrigerator to preserve oils. Olive oil is calorie-dense, so measure it rather than pouring freely. This saves budget and calories. Pairing food with movement. Small practices that amplify effect. Food sets the stage, but movement creates the demand that recruits muscle-building processes. You don't need a gym membership to get benefit. Simple, repeatable moves done daily, or even every other day, are enough to take advantage of your improved metabolic environment. Safe, practical movement ideas. Sit to stand practice. Rise from a chair without using your hands, then sit back down. Repeat 8 to 12 times. Rest, repeat another set. If rising unassisted is not safe for you, use your arms or a higher chair and check with a clinician or physical therapist for personalized guidance. Short walks, 10-20 minutes after meals, not only helps glucose control, but also gives the muscles a reason to reuse the nutrients you provided. Knee, calf raises, hold the back of a chair for balance, rise up onto the toes slowly, lower back down, 10-15 repetitions, x 2 sets. Simple resistance. Use a resistance band around the knees for seated leg extensions, or stand and do light squats while holding onto a stable surface. These small, repeatable actions combined with the 6 foods create the regular signals your legs need to rebuild. Think of food as fuel and scaffolding. Movement is the carpenter that rebuilds muscle when the materials are available. Monitoring progress. How to know something is working. Set small, objective markers you can monitor safely. Energy and recovery. Are morning walks less tiring? Is soreness after standing reduced? Functional checks. Can you stand from a chair with less effort? Are stairs less breathless? Record a simple note each week, no timer required. Appetite and mood. Are you more likely to finish meals? Is your appetite steadier across the day? Clothing and comfort. Are your thighs or calves feeling firmer, or do pants fit differently? Expect incremental changes. Many people notice improved energy and less soreness within 2 to 6 weeks. Measurable strength shifts and improved balance may take longer, particularly if starting from low activity. These timelines are general. Individual responses vary with health conditions, medication, and activity level. Addressing common barriers, taste, appetite, and food access. I don't like fish. Try canned salmon or sardines on whole grain toast with a squeeze of lemon and chopped parsley. Smoked salmon is another low-prep option. If fish is truly intolerable, discuss a clinician-supervised marine-derived omega-3 supplement. I'm on a tight budget. Frozen produce, canned fish, eggs, and flax seeds are among the most cost-effective nutrient-dense items. A dozen eggs often costs less than a single restaurant meal and yields many protein-rich breakfasts. I have low appetite. Distribute intake across smaller meals. A tablespoon of ground flax in yogurt, a half cup of berries with cottage cheese, a soft poached egg with steamed spinach. Small volumes add up without overwhelming. I take blood thinners or have kidney disease. Don't stop the foods that benefit you, but check with your clinician. A consistent intake of vitamin K-rich greens is often manageable if your medication is adjusted to a stable diet. Omega-3s and flax can affect clotting slightly in some people. Discussion with your provider ensures safe integration. Bonus foods and sensible alternatives. There are other useful items from the broader list: beets, turmeric, pumpkin seeds, avocado, Greek yogurt, ginger, grapeseed extract, vitamin C-rich foods, and cinnamon that can complement the 6 core foods. Use them as extras, not replacements. Beets. High in dietary nitrates, beets can boost nitric oxide and circulation. A small serving of beetroot or a modest amount of beet juice can be helpful, but may affect blood pressure medications in sensitive people. Turmeric. The compound curcumin is anti-inflammatory. Use turmeric as a spice in cooking or black pepper to enhance absorption. If you take blood thinners, consult first. Pumpkin seeds. A magnesium-rich snack that supports muscle function. A small handful, about an ounce, can be a practical add-on. Greek yogurt. A quality protein alternative to eggs, rich in leucine when full-fat or lower-fat varieties are chosen for protein content. Ginger and citrus, flavor enhancers with mild anti-inflammatory and digestive support properties. These bonus items let you rotate flavors and micronutrients so eating remains enjoyable and sustainable. Safety caveats and medication interactions. A responsible plan always includes a brief safety review. The foods discussed are generally healthy for most people, but specific interactions matter. Blood thinners, warfarin and some newer anticoagulants. Vitamin K in leafy greens affects warfarin dosing. Rather than avoiding greens, aim for a steady, consistent intake and tell your clinician so medication can be adjusted if needed. Omega-3s, from flax, fish and supplements, may modestly increase bleeding risk in people on anticoagulants. Discuss with your provider before starting a new routine of daily flax or high-dose fish oil. Blood pressure medications. High nitrate strategies, e.g. concentrated beet juice, can lower blood pressure further. If your blood pressure is well controlled on medication, check before starting concentrated nitrate regimens. Diabetes medications. Adding berries, fiber and consistent protein can reduce glucose spikes and may change medication needs. Monitor glucose as you add new foods and speak to your clinician if you use insulin or sulfonylureas. Kidney disease. Some supplements and high-protein plans may require modification. If you have advanced kidney disease, consult your nephrology team before making major changes. Allergies and intolerances. Eggs, fish and flax are common allergens for some. Use alternatives, Greek yogurt instead of eggs, plant-based omega-3s if fish is not tolerated, and check labels carefully. If you're uncertain, bring this short list to your next clinic visit. The 6 foods we emphasized and any medications you take. Your clinician can advise on timing, doses, and whether blood tests are needed. A few notes on supplements. Whole foods are the preferred route. Supplements can fill gaps, especially for people who cannot eat fish or who have poor appetite, but they require clinical oversight. If someone considers fish oil capsules, a vitamin D supplement, or concentrated beetroot juice, do that after discussing with a provider, so interactions and appropriate doses are reviewed. Personalizing the plan. Small experiments that respect your life. Not everyone will like or tolerate every item. Use the following approach. Pick one primary swap this week: spinach in eggs, berries at breakfast, a tablespoon of ground flax with yogurt. Track how you feel for 2 weeks: energy, recovery after walks, appetite. Add a second small change the following week. Keep meals simple and pleasurable. Long-term adherence beats perfection. Case vignette. A practical example. Imagine Mr. Alvarez, age 72, who complained of fatigue and difficulty rising from chairs after a hip surgery. He was hesitant about major dietary overhaul. Together, we agreed on 3 gentle steps: 2 eggs with spinach 3 mornings a week, a mid-morning berry and flax snack, and canned sardines twice weekly for dinner. He added a 10-minute walk after lunch and recorded how many times he could stand from a chair in 30 seconds. After 6 weeks, he reported less stiffness, was walking to the mailbox without discomfort, and could perform more sit-to-stand repetitions. This is not a guarantee for everyone, but it shows how small, targeted changes can be integrated quickly and safely. A realistic weekly template you can copy. Monday, breakfast, 2 eggs, plus cup spinach, snack, half cup berries, plus 1 TBSP ground flax, lunch, salad with 3-4 Oz canned salmon, plus 1 TBSP olive oil, dinner, stir-fried vegetables with a drizzle of olive oil and a grain side. Tuesday, breakfast, Greek yogurt plus berries plus flax, snack, whole grain cracker plus mashed sardines, lunch, spinach salad with grilled chicken and olive oil, dinner, baked salmon. Wednesday, breakfast, 2 egg omelette plus arugula, snack, piece of fruit, prefer berries, plus handful of pumpkin seeds, bonus, lunch, leftover salmon flakes on whole grain toast, Dinner, vegetable soup finished with olive oil. Thursday, breakfast, smoothie, berries plus spinach plus 1 TBSP flax plus protein. Snack, plain yogurt plus berries. Lunch, mixed green salad plus canned sardines. Dinner, legume stew with spinach and olive oil. Friday, breakfast, 2 eggs plus sautéed kale. Snack, half-cup berries plus flax. Lunch, salmon salad. Dinner, grilled fish or fish alternative. Saturday, Sunday, mix favorite meals from above. Include 1 fish dinner and use bonus items like beets or turmeric in a side dish. This template shows timing and frequency without making the day feel rigid. Consistency is what counts. When to seek professional help. If you experience sudden changes, new unexplained weakness, dizziness when standing, significant weight loss, or poorly controlled diabetes, contact your primary care provider promptly. The foods I discuss are supportive, but they are part of a broader plan that may include medication adjustments, physical therapy, or diagnostic testing when indicated. The long view. Building small wins into lasting independence. Dietary changes are most powerful when they support daily activities you care about. Walking the dog, climbing stairs to reach the bedroom, playing with grandchildren. The goal isn't perfection. It's making the plate part of a lifestyle that values steady recovery and functional independence. Think weeks and months, not overnight miracles. Small, repeated inputs. Protein in the morning, nitrates for circulation, omega-3s to reduce joint inflammation, add up. Paired with short, regular movement, these steps make it easier for your legs to do the work you ask of them. A concise clinical note to underline the approach. Leg strength is a consistent, measurable indicator of functional health in older adults and responds best to combined interventions. Nutrition plus regular activity rather than to exercise alone. If you want a quick checklist to bring to the grocery store, here it is in plain language. Leafy greens, fresh or frozen. Berries, fresh or frozen. Whole flax seed to grind or pre-ground flax. Extra virgin olive oil, eggs and fatty fish, fresh, frozen or canned. Add 1 or 2 bonus items you like. Beets, turmeric, pumpkin seeds, or Greek yogurt, and you're well equipped. One final safety reminder, these foods are supportive, but not replacements for prescribed medications or therapies. If you take blood thinners, blood pressure drugs, or have complicated chronic conditions, speak with your healthcare provider before making big changes. Consistency and medical oversight will keep you safe and maximize benefit. If this felt helpful, take 1 small step today, pick 1 swap from the list, and try it at your next meal. Share in the comments which of the 6 you'll add this week. I read them, and I'm curious which is most practical for you. If you'd like more step-by-step meal plans, shopping lists, and simple recipes tailored to common conditions, hit subscribe and like. Your support helps me keep producing practical, science-backed guidance. Share this with someone you care for who could use stronger, steadier legs. Thank you for spending this time on the work of staying independent. Small, consistent choices add up. Choose one today and notice how the simplest foods can help your legs get stronger.